All right, welcome to this special edition of Hannity. Happy Friday. Now, Democrats said it couldn't be done, but tonight crime has fallen dramatically under President Donald J. Trump. The border has never been more secure. The economy now red hot. Stock market, 401ks, retirement funds have all climbed to record level after record level. Life expectancy in America just reached another record high. And yet, the radicals in the Democratic Party, they're filled with a lot of hate and a lot of rage. Now, many on the left believe that America, the country we love, is evil. Take a look.
I'm from the South. I grew up in Mississippi, came of age in Georgia. And I know you've been spending a lot of time in the South recently. You've been to Tennessee and Louisiana and North Carolina. And what I tell people when they want to understand what authoritarianism can look like in the U.S., I say, look south. We have lived under soft authoritarianism, I would say, since 1776.
This is just one example of what we see over and over and over again from radicalized Democrats all across the country. They're constantly trashing the country we love. They rarely ever have a good thing to say. So the rise of the democratic socialist communist movement is no surprise. Now, this rise of radical extremists like, Hassan Piker, that's Abdul Sayed's best friend right there, is not shocking. Sadly, rise of left-wing political violence is frankly par for the course. Today, an apparent far-left woman was arrested and charged with 2 felonies after vandalizing the World War II memorial in broad daylight. Now, this comes after previous vandals were accused of trying to damage the Lincoln Memorial and the reflecting pool after the president went forward with renovations. Of course, this all pales in comparison to the multiple attempted assassinations against President Trump. Remember, Justice Kavanaugh, the threat against him, the threats against Amy Coney Barrett, the threats against others on the Supreme Court, the doxing of Supreme Court members, the assassination of our friend Charlie Kirk, along with so many other acts of political violence. So, for far too long, prominent Democrats, they have cried wolf. They have painted their political opponents as evil villains. And now these same Democrats have created a monster totally, completely now out of control. In fact, this monster has taken over their party. And the New York Times put it this way: moderates see socialists as a threat to the Democratic Party. Socialists agree. But tonight, many of these socialists are their own worst enemies. Francesca Hong lost a primary after her chief opponent dropped out after embarrassing the Democratic Party with comments about old white people. And she didn't love Thanksgiving, although she tried to flip, flop, fail, and lie about that. Her comrade in Michigan apparently also hates Thanksgiving, along with a lot of other unique American things, like football. And if you're in Michigan, Mackinac Island, 2019, he posted the following statement, quote, "Just a reminder, this Thanksgiving, this country was built on the systematic annihilation of indigenous peoples. We owe so much more than thanks. Time for reparations." My question tonight: do the people of Michigan want to pay reparations? Do the good people of Detroit think that's a good idea? Well, Abdul El-Sayed is a radical candidate. He is now losing in the polls, and he is not the only questionable socialist radical now struggling in the general election, according to reports. Graham Plattner, Mr. Nazi Tattoo, remember him? Well, his replacement in Maine, a guy by the name of Troy Jackson, also apparently, according to all these reports, has a very violent temper. Once accused of physically assaulting a romantic rival, something that he owned up to many years ago, according to the New York Post. Quote, the police report, first reported by the Bangor Daily News, indicates that Jackson's girlfriend told cops at the time that Jackson, quote, pushed her around, a statement she now denies making. But incumbent Senator Susan Collins still rightly has concerns. Take a look.
Troubling reports just in the last day or two. I'm sure you've seen them about his past. What are your thoughts on that? And is he another Graham Plattner?
I don't know. He's the one who needs to respond to those reports. I'm not going to comment on them, but I will say that based on widespread reporting, it appears that he struggles to control his temper.
Now, of course, the legacy media mob, they are doing their very best to play down or ignore all of the glaring problems from the newly nominated DSA candidate, all of them across the country. In fact, the Telegraph is putting it this way, quote, "The Democrats are having a sexy socialist summer." Wow, really? That's the spin they're going with? Or, oh, that was woke one, which was crazy, and we didn't mean it. We're just going to lie to get in office. Then we'll do what we said on the DSA website. All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.